What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Easter Stretford podcast. And today we're going to be talking about who needs to leave our fucking club. And we all know, you listeners know, we've had players that we've been dragging on for years, literally since Ferguson, that have needed to get the fuck out. So today we're talking about that. But before we get into it, what's up, Vishnu? How are you doing, man?
Good. I just have to quickly apologize for all the behind-the-scenes technical difficulties that I faced. To the audience out there, like these guys are really pissed off at me right now, so I'm just gonna take it slow today. Apart from that, new face, no beard. I look like you now, Arman.
Yes, again, third time's a charm. The joke
Yeah.
worked. Again, if you guys don't get that joke, again, it's an inside joke because we've been fucking trying to record for 20 minutes, but Vishnu's internet or his placement or his computer hasn't been working. Like he was saying, but we all forgive. Mr. Karthik, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Still looking the same. I just can't crack the same joke again.
Yeah, it's so hard to re-record. It's like the shittiest thing to do.
Well, whatever, man. I'm doing great. Yeah, I mean.
No, and it's actually good we re-recorded because the last time we recorded, Karthik was talking about how sad he was about being locked in. So I think it's good that we cut that bit out.
I think everyone is depressed enough.
Exactly. But okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. We can get straight into it. Why you clicked on this video or podcast. So like I said, we're going to be talking about who needs to leave Manchester United. And we're each going to say one, and we're going to go into depth. So make sure you tell us who you think. Make sure to click the subscribe button for more of this content. And let's get into it. Mr. Karthik, who do you want to leave the club?
All right, man. I'm going to go with probably a very obvious choice. And I think two of you should agree with this. I'm going to go with Andreas Pereira. I think he's had his time at United for me. I think there was initially when he came into the team as well. I think his first game was 2014-15 season for us. I think that's the first time he played for us, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of hype behind him. He was out on loan. He was an academic. He was a kid from the academy. So he was out on loan a couple of times after that to Granada, to Valencia. So yeah, I mean, I think even after his Valencia stint, I thought he seemed like a promising talent, but I think he's had a very mediocre career at United so far. He's had a couple of brilliant goals, like you've seen like moments of brilliance from this kid, but it's just never been consistent. And I think that that also kind of paints a bigger picture of Manchester United as well. We generally as a team haven't been consistent over the years. So, with this, it has a lot to do with our players as well. So I think Pereira is probably one of the first ones I think is sure to go this transfer season. I think he deserves to go to a team. I mean, I'm not saying the kid does not have talent. I think he's got talent. We've seen it. He's got some decent footwork. He can take free kicks. He's good from outside the box. So, he's got all these qualities, but it just never really materializes into anything when it needs to. So yeah, I think I see him going to maybe a team. Maybe he could go to the La Liga. Like I'm not sure what teams have. There are a couple of teams who are interested in him right now. I can't recall who it is. But I just feel like he needs to go to a much smaller team where he can maybe excel. United right now with what we're trying to achieve, I don't think he's the right fit anymore. I don't see a place for him in the squad. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think I'll give my take on Andreas Pereira. So like you were saying, when he was in La Liga, he did pretty good for Granada. And when he moved to Valencia, he started off really hard. And then there were highlights videos everywhere. You were like, fuck yeah, Andreas Pereira is getting back. And then he just dipped off. Like he said, this consistency thing. He was on the bench for a very shitty Valencia team at that point. They were still recovering from the Gary Neville days. They've improved now, but it was a shit show of a team back then. And then Andres Pereira moving into the squad, like you said, moments of brilliance. And but just never like consistent. And I can't see him. He'd be playing in a Bruno role, and you
Yeah.
would never play him over Bruno. So if you're not bringing in someone to really compete with Bruno, doesn't really make sense. Vishnu, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I agree with what both you guys are saying. I think his time in United has run its course. He started off really well as well, but I just feel like over the years he got a bit more selfish as a player. He wanted to. If you've seen a lot of his games where he's just been trying to score goals without even looking at like passing the ball and stuff like that. So he loves to take those like long range hits. In fact, the last United goal that was I think was the Europa League game, right? Against Bruges when we scored 5. He took one like
Yeah.
outside the box. It was a goalkeeper mistake, but that was the last goal that United has scored before the lockdown and the quarantine and everything is hit. He's still a good. I think more of like the French league or the German league. He'd be like suited to more of that kind of style where he's given that freedom to like take a lot more like goals from outside the box. In the Premier League, it's a bit more difficult to do that because like you feel like you've wasted an opportunity every time you take a selfish hit and then miss it. Which is quite frustrating as well. Like I've watched a lot of games where I've just been like, "Oh, you fucking idiot! You could have just passed. You could have just like gone through the flanks or something else. You could have done something with the ball except just hit the ball every time. You're not a Paul Scholes for me. So yeah, I think it's fair enough that I wouldn't give him another. I don't see him coming off the bench as well to play for United because I think even at the start of the season, Ole trusted him well enough, but now I think that's gone as well. He's not performing up to our expectations, and like you said, Arman, with Bruno in the lineup, I don't see a place for Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, and I like your point on, dude, the start of the season, we played him every game. So we can't
Yeah.
say like we didn't give him the chances. Ollie continuously played him and it never worked out.
Yeah.
But, on a realistic perspective, like let's take a news perspective, I don't think he's going to leave because I don't think there's many suitors right now. And I think United would still put a like hefty price on him, like a 30 million. So I don't know if he's actually going to leave, but I definitely think it's a good shout. But personally,
Yeah.
I would still have him in the squad next year. The next person that needs to leave, Vishnu, who do you think needs to go as well?
Another obvious candidate for exiting Man United, it's got to be Jesse Lingard for me. It's I do feel a bit sad about this as well because he's been an academy graduate. He's played with the likes of like Pereira, and he grew up with playing the same under 18 squad and the reserve squad with Paul Pogba. So he's had a lot of time to like experience the whole, and he was hailed as one of the I think even he was I think Ferguson picked him out as well and said that, yo, this kid's going to be a star at the senior team. But it didn't look like it's going that way anymore. I think even last year he was showing signs of weaknesses in the Premier League. I I don't see a spot for him anymore, especially with this season. He didn't score at all. I think he scored maybe 1 or 2 goals in the league games, nothing in the Premier League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also tried to revive his career, but by making him captain for a couple games, in which he scored as well. So he's had some tough times recently. He just came out saying that he was not having the best of form. He's been unlucky at times, but also he hasn't been playing up to the mark with Man United. And I do feel for the guy. He's played with some of the best players in the world as well. He's played with Zlatan. He's played with Pogba. He's played with Rooney. He's played with Rashford. All these guys who've been like instrumental in his like upbringing at Man United. But then when you see statistics and when you see how he's played last year, he hasn't contributed much at all. He's been fooling around a lot with the ball. He feels like he. I always feel like when he has the ball, he always feels like he has to make up for like his bad games or like the bad plays that he's done in the past. So he's already coming into the game with a negative perspective. So which kind of hinders his growth with Man United at the moment. We put a couple of feelers out for him. I think Arsenal was like, I think we saw a transfer link with Arsenal that they might be interested in buying Jesse Lingard. I'm okay with that honestly because I think if especially with our like ins coming up in the next year or depending on how much budget we have and stuff like that, I don't see a spot for Jesse Lingard at all. What do you guys think?
Yeah, dude. I completely agree. I mean, I know again he's another academy kid. But it's just sad, dude. I mean, we have so much quality coming out of our academy right now. I
Yeah.
mean, he needs to like he had to live up to it, and he hasn't. And I feel like, he's. I don't. I think I can safely say that he's past his prime, and he had his chance here at United, but it's not going to happen. Like there was that one season. I think that
Yeah.
one goal that he scored, people were just all. We were. I think it was all of us. To be fair, at that one point where we were like, "Oh my God, it's Lingard! Fuck, he's going to be the next big thing," and the whole Messi thing started then. But yeah, man, like he's never for me. He's never. Every time he comes onto the field, it doesn't. I don't. Every time he gets the ball, it's so evident that he doesn't know what he's gonna do with it next. And he's just he's a hard worker. I gotta give it his work rate is fantastic. The way the amount of ground he covers, But at the end of the day, like I don't think he's got enough quality to be in this United team. It could be a matter of confidence because again, like this is the same thing with Pereira as well. You see moments of, oh shit, you can actually do that, and why don't you do it more often? It could be a matter of confidence, but when you play for a big club like United, when you're getting paid to the levels of every other quality player in that team, you need to live up to those kind of standards. Like
Yeah.
confidence is something you need to be able to work on because that's what's expected of you. I think that's if you can't live up to that, then yeah, I think United. I think yeah, Lingard. I think should make his exit for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like funny point on the money thing. Before Harry Kane's contract renegotiation like a year or two ago, Jesse Lingard was making significantly more than Harry Kane, like almost double. And it's I think Jesse Lingard, when he went to the World Cup and when he first came back, he was like, dude, at the World Cup, he was really good, man. He fucking
Yeah.
started. He
Yeah.
was quality, playing one-touch passes, and I loved watching England play. And he thrived in that system. But the problem was he came back to a Mourinho system, and he was doing it the first few games at United, and he was looking fucking
Mm.
good. But Mourinho is just like, no, none of that quick passing shit. Like, get back on defense, blah blah blah. So I think that
Yeah.
really started his decline. Then I think he had like some really bad personal stuff with his mom
Yeah.
that he was saying. So it further decline. But dude, I think he should go, and I think he should go to a club like Leicester, where he's already played. He was on
Yeah.
loan there. I think he would be
Yeah.
so fucking good for Leicester, dude. He would
Mm.
fit right into their system. He's a hard worker. He does have some quality. But even at this point, I would rather have Andreas Pereira over Lingard because Lingard is just. I don't think it's going to get better. At least Pereira is still 24. There's some possibility, but Lingard. I think, like you said, Karthik, the peak it's already done. His
Yeah.
World Cup is
Yeah.
his peak. The final person that we're going to talk about, and I think this person is going to be someone that everybody's like, yeah, this fucker needs to go. It's Phil Jones, and I think we have been
That's the
saying,
end of our episode. All right, thank you guys.
yeah, that's it. I do I even need to describe this? Actually, I don't even know, but I'm gonna go ahead. Phil Jones, touted by Alex Ferguson to be the next great center back, and not just Alex Ferguson. To be fair, when he was at Blackburn, everybody was going after Phil Jones. Chelsea, Man City, all the big boys, and it was a race to get Phil Jones. And I think we got him for like 14 million, which at the time was expensive. And for the first few years, he looked raw, but like decent. But then I feel like he started putting on weight and he just got
Yeah.
lost all his confidence, got sloppy as hell, injured all the time,
Yeah.
and then became a meme. And then, dude, it can't be easy to be a football player and be a meme. Like seeing it all the time, that must be tough on your psychology. And so I don't blame the guy, but he's just not good enough. He's had to leave since 2014.
Yeah.
Every year we've been like, we're gonna get rid of Phil Jones, we're gonna bring in a center back. Never happened. We thought he was gonna transition us out of Ferguson. Never happened.
Yeah.
Mourinho, I don't know how he stayed under us. It was crazy, but we just weren't bringing in center backs. So I don't want to shit on him too much because I honestly feel like, dude, I've been looking up a lot about like sports psychology, and I feel like all the shit he has got. If I got that much shit, there's no chance I could play football, dude.
Yeah.
But it's just he's not a United player, and that's fucking clear. What do you guys think?
I think it's like easy for him to find another club in the Premier League though. If he keeps himself fit. Maybe more of the bottom half teams. I think how old is he now? He must be around 30. Is he 30 yet?
Should be.
Yeah, because like I know he's been with the club for 10 years as well. He's like it's amazing how he stayed this long. He finally scored a goal in like 7 years, I think, with that header against Tranmere Rovers in the FA Cup.
Mm.
So it's ridiculous. I never thought that he's really stuck. He really did that well in defense either. It was a bit unfortunate because he did have another newbie. I think he started defense with Chris Smalling. He started a new partnership with him, and it was a bit hard in that transition period for him to. So I understand what you're trying to say. We shouldn't give him like, we should cut him some slack as well. But he's not good enough. He hasn't been in the. He hasn't been magical over the years. He hasn't like converted into one of those Gary Nevilles or one of those like Rio Ferdinands that we'd expect to see with Man United. So yeah, I think I don't even think we'll get much for him, to be honest. Maybe like maximum of 5 to 10 million, or even like a free transfer.
I think 5 million, dude. 5 million is pushing it as well.
Yeah.
I don't think his career is over at any cost. I feel like he could go to like a Southampton or like a Burnley or I don't know, somewhere along those lines, and he could probably finish off his career in a team like that. But yeah, I mean, again, like every time, as far as I can remember, Phil Jones, all I remember is all the good tackles and everything that he's made. Everything that I remember is usually from a mistake that he's made and which he had to recover from.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's what it feels like all the time. So, he just makes some. I think his positioning is off from time to time. I don't know. Maybe you're right about the whole like he could never have a solid partnership going on with anyone. He's had to play with a lot of, initially, yes, when he started off, it was Jones and Smalling, and then Jones was benched for a long time. I think Rojo came in, and it was like a weird, no one really had time to like what Vidic and Ferdinand. But again, like when you get your chance at Man United, you sort of have to take it. And, we saw Pogba's. I don't know how many of you saw Pogba's podcast as well, but he says that people will always talk shit about you. It's about how you deal with it. I think when you sign up for United, it kind of comes with the package. Like you need to be ready for this shit. And I'm sure they have a lot of like, they have a lot of meetings with psychiatrists, sports psychiatrists, and stuff like that, just to like constantly just stay mentally focused. I know it's going to be hard, but yeah, I mean it comes with it comes with the title, dude. So I don't think I think Jones is an easy out for me. Sure.
I remember there was like an interview with him post game somewhere when someone asked him like, "Oh, you're coming up to like 10 years with Man United. How do you want your testimonial match to be or something?" And he goes like, "No, I don't want one because I don't think anyone's gonna come watch." It was a bit. It was a bit sad actually.
That's what I'm saying, dude. His mental health must be, because dude, the amount of shit that dude gets, it like goes over the line, at some point.
But you gotta give it to him. He comes and he tries. It's not like he doesn't.
Yeah. He definitely tries. He definitely tries.
Because I've seen players like Pogba has given up on the field. Lingard has given up. Herrera has given up on the field, but you've never seen someone like Jones just comes on. I think he knows how good he is, and he's like, okay, you know what, this is what I can do, so I'm gonna try to do this well. Yeah. But I am gonna fuck up. I think he's aware. I think he's self-aware for some reason. I don't know.
No, I think like one of the things to mention is that I think he did not really adapt to the new age of new age strikers who run around circles around him, so they embarrass him almost. In a way, he hasn't got a lot of like game match experience as well. Like he hasn't had a lot of match practice to be able to pull off something like that, like to be able to adapt, like say Harry Maguire or like Virgil van Dijk, and like some of the greats. But I think he's done.
He's done.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good place for us to end up. a little bit quicker video today for you guys. But let's just do one last round of honorable mentions. So my honorable mention, who I think should leave the club, is also fucking Alexis Sanchez, but he's kind of a fucking obvious one. Vishnu, who do you think is another one?
Mata, I think Juan Mata would be one of them. I kind of like Mata a lot as well. I think he's there when you need him to be, and he does show glimpses of promise here and there, but I don't think he doesn't really match up with the pace of what Ole is building in the squad, and he's a bit slow for my liking in the Man United team.
Yeah. Karthik?
Yeah, I think dude Smalling, I guess. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see a place for him right now. I think with Maguire, Bailly, Lindelof, I think we seem, and if you're again probably gonna go for a center back this summer as well. I just Smalling coming back. I think he's doing fine in Roma. If he could make that move permanent, I think that would be good for him. But yeah. I think he should just probably stay where he is at, because I don't see it.
Yeah.
I agree. No point bringing him back. He's not good enough either.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good place to end up. Everybody, please let us know who you think should leave the club. Anybody we missed, anybody we said. So yeah, let us know. Make sure to like the video, share it with your friends. If you've had this exact same conversation, share it to them and see what they think. But yeah, everybody, thank you for listening in. See you in the next episode. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.